Yo, what's up, guys? It's King Sean here, and day 7 of Commander's training camp just wrapped up a minute ago, and I'll be discussing it. As always, I'll go through some stuff that Dan Quinn said during his press conference, and then get to some things that happened during practice. So, if you guys are new to my channel, leave a like down below, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm on the 4K subs. If you could, hit that sub button. I'd really appreciate it. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so we have a good amount of stuff to talk about from today's practice, but first things first, we're going to talk about some things Dan Quinn said in his press conference. First thing first, he commented on Jamin Davis, and he said that Jamin will get some work at first and second down linebacker. Said that was always the plan, so he doesn't get too far from what he needs to do at that spot, but will stay as a defensive end on third down situation. So it isn't a full-on transition to defensive end for Jamin Davis, Dan Quinn said, because they will still kind of use him on first and second down, but they want him to get some reps or some snaps off of the edge this upcoming season. So that's why they're kind of trying to use him at defensive end as well. But he will still, be at his natural position linebacker, but they also, want him to develop. They kind of want him to be like that Micah Parsons, how Micah Parsons was in Dallas, where he got a lot of reps off the edge, but he also got some as an off-ball linebacker. So that's kind of what Dan Quinn wants Jamin Davis to be. At least that's my guess, because it seems like it, still, doing his typical linebacker things, but also learning, how to be a defensive end as well, how to rush off the edge as well. I think he wants Jamin Davis to become that Micah Parsons for this defense. And then he commented on Daron Payne. He said that Payne is an absolute dog of a player. What's more impressive to me, he had more pass rush skills than I thought. You see how square and strong he is. Seeing his quickness for that size is what's really rare. So for Dan Quinn, he didn't know, how much of a good pass rusher, how much speed, how much explosiveness off the line Daron Payne had until he actually seen him practice in person. And yeah, Daron Payne, he's very athletic. Coming out of college, that was one of his best traits, him being very athletic, him being a fast, speedy guy off the line, very explosive off the line for his size especially too. He's like 320 some pounds, so he's a big dude and he's super explosive, which is very impressive. So that was one of the things Dan Quinn was impressed with Daron Payne. And then he gave a shout out to Dyami Brown. He said that he's jumped out out to him in specific areas. He highlighted when quarterbacks get out of the pocket to extend plays, Brown's ability to accelerate and get open has been important. So Dyami Brown, he's been getting some high praise from Dan Quinn lately. I think in his last press conference, he got some praise from Dan Quinn as well. So, hey, man, Dyami Brown, he's fighting for a roster spot. I would say he's on the roster bubble right now because, his first three seasons in the league, he hasn't done much. Really putting up like 100 and some yards per season. So we need him to have a better year this year. We needed to impress during training camp and preseason. He's gonna have to have a really good preseason in order for him to lock up a roster spot. So that's what Dan Quinn talked about in his presser today. Moving on to things that happened during practice. First things first, we started one-on-one drills today. So wide receiver versus DBs, linebackers versus running backs, tight ends versus running backs, O-line versus D-line. All that, we started that today, and we got a lot from it today, actually. First things first, Benjamin St-Juste, he picked off Marcus Mariota on his first 1v1. That is really good for St-Juste right there. He left practice early on Tuesday, which was 2 days ago, so it's nice that he's back out on the field and making some plays in 1v1 drills. Brandon Coleman, man, he looked really good in 1v1 drills. He had a nice block against Cleveland Farrell, a nice block against Dante Fowler. Let's see here. He had a nice block against Jamin Davis as well. So overall, man, Coleman was really good. He was undefeated in 1v1 drills. Same with Sam Cosmi. He was really good against Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Actually, Cosmi and Jonathan Allen kind of got a little bit chippy in 1v1 drills earlier today, which was reported. I think Mitchell Tischler tweeted it out, so shout out to him. Just two competitive guys, two of our best players on this roster. Cosmi, one of the best guards in the NFL. Jonathan Allen, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Things get a little chippy with them, but it's okay. The pads are on. They're competitive dudes, so, that happens here or there. Lou McCaffrey, he had a nice play on 1v1s. He beat Sanderson to the outside. He had a nice grab. McLaurin's beat Forbes off the line in 1v1, but the pass missed. I'm not sure who threw the ball. Maybe it was Jalen Daniels. Maybe it was Marcus Mariota. We'll never know, though, because JP Finley didn't tweet it out. Brandon Coleman, like I said, him and Sam Cosmi were undefeated in O-line versus D-line 1v1. So it's really good to see, or good to hear Brandon Coleman impressing during training camp. I'm really rooting for him to win that starting left tackle job. And also, Andrew Wiley, he did not take part in 1v1 or team drills today, which is very interesting. Now, according to him, the team has, I want to say, a plan for him, I guess, to like maybe sit out some practices and then come back some practices. I think he has like a minor injury. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just sitting him to get some rest, or if he actually has an injury, or if they're just sitting him because they aren't impressed as to what he's been doing at right tackle. I'm not sure what it is with Andrew Wiley, but he was not participating in 1v1 drills or team drills today, which is super interesting. We'll see if we find out why later this week. Now let's get to some things that happened during 11v11. Jaden Daniels, he was working with the first team today, and his first pass was a catch by McLaurin working against Benjamin St-Juste. So it's good to see that connection. That connection, hey man, JD and Terry McLaurin, their connection was unbelievable today. Jaden Daniels had 2 deep balls to Terry McLaurin. I think one was McLaurin beat Forbes down the field, and then Jaden Daniels threw him in stride. Man, it was really nice. Well, I wasn't at practice today, but a lot of people, a lot of fans, reporters said it was a really nice deep ball by Jaden Daniels, hit Terry McLaurin in stride. And I'm pretty sure the second one was against Benjamin St-Juste. So, hey, man, I absolutely love that connection right there. Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Ooh, I cannot wait to see that connection in the regular season. St-Juste, he was back outside cornerback during team drills, like I said. Let's see what else we have here. There's a good dose of the run game in 11v11 today per JP Finlay. Brandon Coleman was looking good there. So, hey, man, Brandon Coleman, he keeps on impressing, and that's what he needs to do in order to win that left tackle starting job for week 1. Luke McCaffrey, he did a really nice job blocking 6'2 safety Tyler Owens in the dirt on this 11v11 drill. So, good job by Luke McCaffrey is blocking. Our best blocking wide receiver right now, in my opinion, is probably Dyami Brown. I know he's not a great, receiver, but he is a pretty good blocking receiver, so that's one good thing you can say about Dyami Brown. But it's nice to see Luke McCaffrey engaging in some blocks as well. Nice job by Allegretti and Coleman passing off a stunt. Shout out to Linnell Willingham. He tweeted that out. So Nick Allegretti, he's probably going to be our starting left guard. I know Michael Dieter has been getting some snaps at starting left guard as well, but I think it's going to be Allegretti who gets that spot over him. Let's see what else we have here. Austin Eckler did a nice job in pass pro versus Wagner on this one play, which is really good. Armani Rogers, he made a couple of nice catches during 1v1 drills against linebackers and safety. He had 2 acrobatic catches. Shout out to John Quine. He tweeted that out. So Armani Rogers and Cole Turner are fighting for, I guess you could say, the 4th tight end spot, because we already know the 3 we're going to keep, Zach Ertz, Ben Sinnott, and John Bates. So it's really Cole Turner versus Armani Rogers for that last tight end spot, so we'll see who wins it. Cornelius Lucas was held out of practice today. Well, he wasn't even at practice today for personal reasons, so he should probably be back tomorrow. And in the meantime, Trent Scott was our starting right tackle today, and then obviously Brandon Coleman was at left tackle. Like I said, I'm not sure why Andrew Wiley was held out of practice today. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was injury, or maybe they're just giving him rest. I'm not sure what it was, but he didn't practice today at all. Maybe we'll find out tomorrow or later today as to why. Update on the kicker competition. Ramiz Ahmed and new guy Riley Patterson made all 5 of their kicks from 27 yards, 33 yards, 37 yards, 47 yards, and 53 yards. So kicker competition is going to be super interesting. If I had to place money, I'd probably place my money on Riley Patterson to win it, but Ramiz Ahmed might win it. Seeing a guy like Riley Patterson being brought in to compete with him might motivate him to, work harder to actually win this kicking competition. So, we'll see what happens with that. And then finally, Jaden Daniels got some extra work in with the wide receivers on the far field. Post-practice, one of those wide receivers includes Terry McLaurin. So it's good to see Jaden Daniels getting some work in with the receivers to build his chemistry with them. So that is it for day 7 of training camp. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, turn on notifications. Like I said, I'm on the 4K subs. If you could, hit that sub button. I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.